Yeah, so got something pretty cool here. I've been working on the CV125 for a bit. I don't actually currently have a street bike or a track bike or anything like that, but I was fortunate enough to come across this the other day. A 2005 Ninja 250 with 19,000 miles that currently doesn't run. Not 100% sure what's wrong with it, but I got a great deal on it. I think it's just some carb work that needs to be done, and obviously some body pieces need to be fixed. It's a beginner bike, lots of people drop them. But gonna be going through, taking you just kind of my rebuild process. This might happen pretty quick, it might not. Went ahead and just got a new battery, so I'm actually gonna install that, see what it's like when it starts, see if it actually even does run, and go from there. In worst case scenario, I'll just part it out, but I really think I can get this running. Got the gas tank taken off. Gonna go and drain the gas, put it back on here, see how bad the carburetors leak on here. As you can see, here's the choke cable. It's not hooked up to anything, so I need to figure out back where that goes. I never actually had to mess with the carbs on my old Ninja 250 that I used to have, but I mean, I have worked on them plenty of times before, so best case scenario, they're just gummed up and I can clean them and the bike will run just fine again with some other TLC. Times on what order I want to do things, but you can kind of see if I can get a good camera angle. There we go. So the cable feeds in that way and goes into this right here. You just have to have that compressed back and run the cable back through, and that's how the choke works, and it pulls on both carburetors that way. So you just do it, then it should basically just be pulling it and pushing it back that direction. Can get a good angle, I'll show you. See? So it does that, so it slides, and that activates the choke on both of the carbs. And that's how that works. And maybe that's why he couldn't get it to start either. That'd be awesome. And as you can see, as I flick this and turn the choke back on and off, it pulls on it and releases, and pulls on it and releases. Who knows how that got unhooked? Hit a really hard bump or something, it's hard to say. And all that stuff, it is just a budget bike, but they're awesome little motorcycles though. Just a few quirks. All right, so gonna go ahead, and I got the gas tank set on there, need to hook it back up, put some more fuel in it, and then we'll see what the heck happens. So, you can see here, it is indeed getting gas. You can see where it's dripping from, and man, that is gross looking. I am certain that that the carbs need to be taken off and cleaned. There's like no way that that's not the case. Fortunately, it's something back here, not something up here or down here. It's messed up, so this can be fixed. Gonna take it apart, see what actually is wrong with the carburetor and everything, so I'm gonna get to it. finally, I'll have to probably take the air box off, which looks like you have to take the back tire off and take it out to the bottom of the frame. But I can get to that when the time comes and all that. It's kind of hard to tell what's wrong with the carbs. I know it's spewing gas out of everywhere, and without the vacuum from the motor, it's not going to suck gas through it the same. But I need to actually get a shop manual because I've never actually worked on something with 2 carbs before. I have a good idea of how it all works and everything, but I really need to do that, do a little bit of research, but then I'm going to come back at this and go ahead and get this fixed. You can see it's kind of dirty. I'm not totally sure if I'm going to have to clean it or not, but if it actually got fuel, I bet it'd run just fine. So anyways, I'm going to see what I can't do with that and all of everything and just go from there. Alright, so in my venture to try to get the carburetor back into the look. If it's coming out where I think it is. It's like a low valve, basically.
I needed something to add the, how should I put it, final touches. Finger. I needed a finger. Chopped it off, easier than sawing your leg. Washed it, dried it in an oven, fell asleep, almost burned it. There I managed to pull this off.
So basically, I know that I need to change the chain anyways, and the tires are starting to weather crack and stuff. This is something I really don't mess up with. I always want to make sure you have the tires. So I'm going to change my stuff. I'm pretty sure I can take the lighter out if I have the back tire on the back fender, and I think it slides out that way. That's what it's supposed to be. Somehow stuff like that, it doesn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, see if I can get this chain off. I have no idea if that's a matter. Do some grinding on it and stuff. I don't actually know the chain breakers. I'll go with that and grab Alright, so I know for sure that the needle valves are what's messed up on the cart. Well, I'm pretty darn sure because of where it's leaking gas out of. But I got those off, got them on the workbench over there, and I'll work on those in a bit. But I found some spots where it looks like oil is leaking behind the sprocket. I don't know if it's like that O-ring that's behind the sprocket or the one where the shifter is. But I wanted to change the sprocket and the chain anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and get those off. And then just kind of see, and it may not even be anything. It might have just been a ton of chain lube or something that's built up. So I just kind of want to see that right now, but that'll probably be the last thing that I do for this episode right now. And while the carbs are off, I'd like to go ahead and check the valves. This bike has 20,000 miles, and I don't know as if they've ever actually been checked before, but I'll be going through that and trying to do a good job of explaining the process of that. I've actually done it on a Ninja 250 before, so it should take me hardly any time to do it at all, especially having so much stuff out of the way. So gonna do it while that's easy, and then after that's all said and done, probably gonna go ahead and change the oil. I got a filter for it, get the carbs clean, get it put back in, and start reassembling the bike with all my new parts such as the tires and whatnot, and it should just be good to go and all that, and I can actually take it to get inspected and get it street legal. So I'm excited. Alright, so I got the sprocket taken off right there. Didn't have the camera recording for that part, but that's okay though. Nothing too interesting, it's just 2 bolts and it just slides off with a little keeper on it that you can see right here. Kind of interesting how it works, and those bolts aren't even on there that tight. Kind of a little scary if you think about it, I guess, but not really. But you can kind of tell it's pretty dirty. And whatever else, like some rust has come off on it. I doubt that it itself is really all that rusty, but that kind of shows you some other things of bad chain care and stuff. Maybe they rode a lot in water, I don't know. But I am gonna wait to see what my dad thinks about some of this. I kind of think that the seal for the shifter rod might be leaking. I don't know. This could also just be a ton of chain lube, and it was dumping a lot of gas and stuff from the carbs that could have just run down into here. So they might be just fine. I'll have to see. I'm just not totally sure. So goal for next time is I'm really going to tear into the carbs and just kind of see what all